My family, bless their conniving hearts, decided my tranquil beach house, my sanctuary, was less of a home and more of a lucrative side hustle. Can you imagine the audacity? While I was off living my life, envisioning peaceful sunsets over the crashing waves, they were busy turning my haven into a holiday rental, all behind my unsuspecting back. The first time I found out, it was through a casual comment from a distant cousin about those lovely new tenants. My blood ran colder than a Wyoming winter. The image of sun-drenched dunes and the rhythmic ebb and flow of the tide, once a source of comfort, became a symbol of their betrayal. Every grain of sand seemed to whisper their deceit, every sea breeze carrying the echo of their clandestine dealings. It wasn't just a house. It was a piece of my soul. A place where memories were etched into the very walls, now tainted by their greed. The sting of their betrayal cut deeper than any barbed wire fence. How could the people I trusted most, my own flesh and blood, do something so utterly callous? It felt like being ambushed at a watering hole by your own kin, left to thirst in the desolate plains of their deceit. But their little scheme was about to hit a snag, because I had a plan brewing, a plan as cunning and unpredictable as a wild Mustang. They thought they had outsmarted me, but they hadn't accounted for my own brand of Old West justice. What would be the perfect moment to strike back? Word travels fast in a small town, much like smoke signals across the vast plains. It wasn't long before I started hearing whispers about their grand plans. Not just any booking, but a wedding. A wedding in my beach house. The gall of it was astounding, as if they were performing a sacred ritual on stolen land. The thought alone was enough to make my blood boil hotter than a summer desert sun. I pictured the scene. A makeshift altar on my patio. Vows exchanged under the very roof I had painstakingly built. Strangers celebrating their union in my sanctuary. It was a desecration, a blatant disregard for my feelings and my ownership. My fury felt like the thunder of 1,000 buffalo stampeding across the prairie. But amidst the anger, a cold, calculated calm began to settle over me, like the quiet stillness of a Native American village at dawn. This wasn't just about reclaiming my property. It was about reclaiming my dignity, my respect, and showing them that some lines simply cannot be crossed. This wedding, their ultimate act of presumption, would become the perfect stage for my grand reclamation. But how could I turn their joyous occasion into my moment of triumph without revealing my hand too soon? My plan began to take shape, stealthy as a lone wolf stalking its prey under a moonless sky. I started by subtly monitoring their online booking calendar, becoming a digital ghost in their carefully constructed machine. Every click, every reservation, every detail of the upcoming wedding was meticulously observed, like a scout tracking enemy movements. I imagined myself as a spirit of the land, an unseen presence watching over my sacred territory, preparing to unleash a force as inevitable as a flash flood in a canyon. The irony was not lost on me. They were so focused on their monetary gains, they completely overlooked the possibility of a watchful eye, an ancestral spirit guarding its domain. The tension within me was a coil tightening with each passing day. The waiting was the hardest part, a test of patience as demanding as a long journey across the barren plains. But I knew the perfect moment would arrive, like a shooting star in the vast night sky. It wasn't about revenge. It was about balance, about restoring harmony to my violated space. What unforeseen element could I introduce to truly make my presence felt? The day finally arrived, shrouded in the false promise of joy. Guests began to trickle in, their laughter echoing through the halls of my beach house, a sound that grated on my nerves like a rusty wagon wheel. The decorations were up, a testament to their audacious planning, turning my home into a stranger's celebration. I watched from a distance, hidden in plain sight, an invisible specter among the unsuspecting crowd. My heart was a drum beating a steady rhythm of anticipation and a touch of melancholy. The scene was beautiful, yes, but it was a beauty built on a foundation of deceit, like a mirage in the desert, alluring but ultimately false. As the ceremony began, a hush fell over the assembled guests, the air thick with emotion. The bride, radiant in her white dress, and the groom, beaming with happiness, stood ready to exchange their vows. This was it, the moment I had been waiting for, the perfect stage for my dramatic entrance. But how could I make my presence known without causing a full-blown stampede, yet still deliver a message they would never forget? Just as the officiant asked if anyone had any objections, I made my move, a sudden gust of wind carrying my voice across the assembled crowd, as if from the very spirits of the land. My words were clear, calm, and laced with an undeniable authority that silenced the chattering guests faster than a rattlesnake's warning. The looks on my family's faces were priceless, a mixture of horror, disbelief, and a dawning realization. Their carefully constructed facade crumbled around them like an old adobe wall in a dust storm. The bride and groom stood frozen, their smiles faltering, their dreams of a perfect wedding dissolving before their very eyes. It was a whirlwind of emotions, the satisfaction of confronting their betrayal, the sadness of their deceit, and the sheer audacity of my own actions. I wasn't just a disgruntled homeowner, I was a force of nature, an unwavering spirit defending its territory. But as I watched their reactions, a new question began to gnaw at me. Had I gone too far, or had I simply set things right? Chaos erupted after my declaration, a cacophony of whispers, gasps, and frantic explanations. My family, flustered and humiliated, tried to salvage the situation, but the damage was done. The wedding was undeniably ruined, a beautiful moment shattered by the stark reality of their actions. The air was thick with accusations and recriminations, not just from me, but from the bewildered guests who now understood the true nature of the rental. It was a confrontation as fierce and unyielding as a showdown in a dusty saloon, with reputations and relationships hanging in the balance. As the last of the disappointed guests left, casting judgment in their wake, my family was left to face the full weight of their consequences. The beach house, once a symbol of their secret enterprise, now stood as a silent witness to their undoing. But the question remained, what would become of our family now? And could the ties that bound us ever truly be repaired after such a betrayal? The beach house, once bustling with the echoes of betrayal and then the chaos of confrontation, slowly returned to its natural state of peaceful solitude. The setting sun painted the sky in hues of orange and purple, a gentle reminder of the enduring beauty that remained despite the storm. My family, humbled and chastened, finally understood the depth of their error. There were apologies, tearful and heartfelt, and a newfound respect for the boundaries they had so carelessly crossed. It wasn't an easy reconciliation, like mending a torn canvas, but it was a beginning. As I sat on my porch, watching the waves roll in, I knew that while the scars of betrayal might linger, the spirit of my beach house, my sanctuary, was finally restored. It was a tale of betrayal and reclamation, a testament to the enduring power of family, even when tested. What new stories would the ocean whisper to me now, in this reclaimed haven, as I looked towards a future built on honesty and respect?